traditional tribalistic activism dynamics. The Black Lives Matter movement, which is a wholesome, good movement. People of color in our world, especially in the United States, have been subjugated, abused, diminished, jailed, killed, murdered, mistreated, dehumanized. And they have done their best in the Black Lives Matter movement, not speaking in any degree of true understanding of their situation. I'm speaking in ignorance, admitted ignorance. Does it make sense that in any population that has been treated that way, there would be resulting judgmentalness and fear and control and safety strategies that would be generated to keep themselves safe from systemic racism and legal system prejudice and bias and political system prejudice and bias and social cultural prejudice and bias, and thus unrealized wounds and trauma and victim perpetrator rescuer resonances validly resonated with, and even resultant hatred, and hatred not being a bad word, hatred here defined as a fearful response by a normal human being when they feel powerless, out of control, abused, incapable of solving their problems that they're faced with, angry, judgmental and blaming of a perceived perpetrator, i.e. the rest of humanity or white society or the system, and that leading to hatred, the desire to destroy that which they feel so vitally threatened by, so literally, mortally threatened by. The paradox of that is the flip side on the right side of the screen here is systemic racism and legal system prejudices, supposedly keeping themselves safe from that which they've created in this society of the Black Lives Matter folks. So are there people who feel wounded, white people that feel wounded by Black populations or operate in fear or have belief systems and projections about people of color or that hold endemic subconscious bias and prejudice that they operate from without even recognizing it and hiring people for jobs? And it has crept into our political systems and our judicial systems and systems of governance of all kinds. And is there an underlying hatred in the white population of what is feared, in the necessary and appropriate, any necessary and appropriate hatred that might have occurred in the Black Lives Matter folks? And do both of these populations have a sort of sword of Damocles fear of each other, misunderstanding, ignorance of each other, incapacity to and unwillingness to unconditionally love each other, that it has validity to it? Are both of these tribal dynamics? Are both of these unconscious to some degree? Are both of these in need of healing, education, soothing, unity, resourcing of new understandings? Is this a necessary evolution for us to go through as a species? If we cannot unify, how can we transform this world and transcend climate change issues? The historically disempowered feminine, have they felt abused, victimized? Have they felt that men are perpetrators of their emotional process and their life process? Has rape and assault been endemic in our world? Yes. Have men, as a result, felt judged or criticized or vilified for their prior tendencies? Has this dynamic unfolded to a 50% divorce rate in the United States, of broken families, of wounded children? The unfolding dynamics of trying to figure our way out of the traditional patriarchal dynamics of and male dominant dynamics and competitive dynamics of tribe in order to generate true unity, true equality, true wholesome, healthy relationship in our world. These are just two examples. We've gone through the cycle, the repetitive cycles without full resolution of attempting to attain equality between these different groups. And it has cycled over and over and over in an incomplete way that has generated rewounding and rewounding and rewounding on all sides. More misunderstanding rather than resolutely, methodically arrived at unity, healing, balance, harmony, and equality. Would people who are part of white supremacist groups think that they had been somehow victimized by other races, or that they were somehow being impinged upon or affected in some detrimental way, and judge them and claim woundedness, or even hate them or fear them? And might any of those groups that were non-white, so to speak, even though if we look at genetics, there really aren't any pure white people on our planet, as far as we're aware. We're all a mixture of the genes of earlier nations and earlier peoples. The Jews and the Nazis the Nazis judged the Jews, feared them and hated them, and tried to exterminate and destroy them, and might have claimed woundedness or trauma from the existence of the Jews. The Jews experienced, obviously, incredible wounding, incredible pain, incredible suffering beyond description. And the paradox of all of this on this slide has that historical wounding that has generated positionalities of perspective and bias and fear and hatred and misunderstanding, has it been resolved? Has there been a path and process and system of healing applied to the historical wounds of these people so that the Jews and the Arabs could meet each other in peace? The white supremacists could meet all people of color with love, unconditional love and care and respect, and without fear and without projection, without assumption, without misunderstanding. These are the challenges we face. We have the capacity to face them now. These dynamics must be solved, healed, transcended, moved beyond. We must wake up from our history and recognize that if we continue to operate in these fractured, fragmented, unequal, misunderstood positionalities, that we will not be able to consciously collaborate. We will not be able to save ourselves, from the effects in our world of our prior actions as a species.